Welcome back to Instables, everyone. Again, going over our intraday swing and long perspective. Again, following yesterday's Powell the day before, and then jobless claims coming out today. Again, a lot worse than we have had within the last year. But tomorrow's non-farm payrolls, very much on watch. And again, from our last non-farm payroll that we did have a pullback from, we were anticipating and also following our evening star setup. Again, we do have a spike, a doji candle following, and then our momentum candle to the downside, as we have been mentioning, our evening star setup yesterday, getting a doji candle, looking for that possible continuation on lower here, as we were tracking our 0.5 Fibonacci, as you guys can see, exactly dropping below this level that we were looking for intraday, continuing on lower, hitting exactly here on our 0.382 fib, also our 200-day moving average. I'm going to go over exactly what we're looking for here. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and if you are a day trader, if you want to see pre-market news that you want to be watching, if you're looking for data sets that you want to be watching, for example, 30 minutes before market open, the market very much does react to certain data sets and you didn't know that they were coming out, or 30 minutes after market open, if you guys are trading out the gate movers, or just looking for those major volatile breakouts on news that we mention every single day in the Instables room, go to instables.com in the description below. And for only $15 a month, you will never miss a breakout alert today. Again, let's jump into this one. So jumping into the spot with you guys here, I want to jump into our intraday perspective off the bat, looking at our daily candle structure. However, I wanted to look at our overall anticipation, what we have been tracking. Again, we did have our trend line here. We came back higher. We got, again, our evening star, getting a rejection at a key resistance. Also on our 20-day moving average, getting that key rejection. And as you guys can see, getting that evening star and continuation on lower here. So again, that's why we have been continuing on lower, getting that rejection on the upper end of our trend line that we have been tracking. And now looking at our intraday perspective, what we're anticipating leading into tomorrow. Again, we do have non-farm payrolls prior. We did have a sell-off with our prior non-farm payrolls, and very much setting up with that evening star for that possible continuation on lower. And that's exactly what happened here. Again, getting a bounce, looking for that confirmation on our 0.5 fib that we did mention, to get possible confirmation on our prior gap down that we did mention on, again, our engulfing candle that we had on our bounce here. So again, now we are looking to see if we will hold our 390 level here. If we cannot hold that 390 level, then we can continue on lower. Tomorrow's non-farm payrolls, next week's CPI, and then after that we have PPI the very next day. Two major inflation reports coming out Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Going to be very key. We will keep these levels on watch here. If we happen to drop below 390, then we can possibly come back lower, test our 374 level that we had, the lower end of our prior area of balance that we had. Again, that is our intraday perspective. Going into tomorrow, we are testing a very key support level that we did have a bounce from. Now retesting that bounce, now higher risk to be playing a bounce, in my opinion. We will see if we do close within our prior body's candle, or if we do possibly continue on lower with this gap down. Again, tomorrow's non-farm payrolls will be 1 hour before market open, and that's what we're watching out for intraday. Now looking at our weekly chart, as we have been talking about, one of the most important indicators that we have been tracking is our 20 weekly moving average crossing above our 50 weekly moving average for that possibility of that continuation on higher. We were looking for that possible bullish candle structure. As you guys can see, currently getting bearish candle structure, again with an engulfing candle to the downside, closing below our 20 weekly moving average, looking to see if we can bounce on our 50 weekly moving average for any possible continuations on higher. Again, next week closing within this week's body here would be that possible momentum on a possible continuation on higher. Again, we're looking to see if we can close within this week's body's candle to see if we can continue on higher. That's what we're looking for. If that does not happen, then we will be looking for our 20 weekly moving average to cross back lower for that possible confirmation on that bearish momentum. Again, currently we were getting that bounce off of our 20 weekly moving average. However, no bullish confirmation till we did get that engulfing candle or possible bullish candle structure on our weekly chart. So again, that's what we have been watching out for. Again, looking at our MACD here, as we have our EMA lines that have been crossing above the median MACD, we have been looking for any increases in buy pressure. We have not gotten that increase in buy pressure. We are curling down here. If we curl, we continue on below the median MACD. That will be that possible major bearish momentum. Again, we have not crossed above the median MACD for quite a while since we have sold off about a year ago. So again, we have been looking out for that possible continuation on bullish momentum. Even if we do cross lower here, in my opinion, we will definitely keep an eye on any possible bullish momentum that does come later. And again, that could be that possible continuation on holding above the median or MACD later on. So again, we're going to keep an eye on our MACD on our weekly chart as well, just in case we do have that possible continuation on that bullish momentum. And now looking at our monthly chart, as we have been talking about last month, looking at our 20-month moving average, we got this rejection candle. Again, we had a momentum candle here. We did not close this candle, still mentioning that intraday and swing term momentum could be on a cool off, and we have been sitting on a cool off. Again, if we happen to bounce on our weekly chart, our daily chart, any crazy bullish momentum, then we will possibly close with an engulfing candle to the upside here. However, at this point in time, as we do have a rejection candle at key resistance like we had prior, we can only assume that we do have bearish momentum at this point in time until we do get that bullish candle structure intraday and on our swing momentum. And the most important indicator that we have been tracking long term has been our 12 and our 26. We have not crossed higher here. We have been looking to see if we can start to curl higher here. We have not started to curl higher here. Again, we curled slightly here. We mentioned that we had that short term momentum. However, we mentioned long term that we did need to cross higher here for that confirmation if we were going to continue on higher. And until we do cross higher with our 12 above our 26, we can only assume that we are sitting on bearish momentum that we have been continuing on lower from for the last year. So again, until we do cross higher, we're assuming that we have bearish momentum. However, on watch for any possible bullish momentum, any bullish candle structure on a weekly chart, on our daily chart, like we have been keeping an eye on, as we do still have that decrease in sell pressure recently that we have been getting. Simply looking for that confirmation here with our 12 above our 26 is what we're looking for on our monthly chart, and that is our long perspective. Now, jumping back to our intraday perspective, looking at the daily chart, again, going into tomorrow, we are sitting on support that we had a prior bounce from. We can continue on lower or possibly close within our body here, in my opinion, very much going to be predicated on what tomorrow's non-farm payrolls come out as. If they come out better than expected, then I can expect a possible close above our support level, or if we do possibly have worse than expected non-farm payrolls, we can possibly expect to close below a key support level that we would be looking to see if we would get confirmation into next week on Tuesday for that continuation on lower, or if we do possibly get that bullish momentum, again, possible bullish CPI, possible bullish PPI to continue on higher, that will be that possible reversal on a morning star or a possible bullish candle setup. So we'll see exactly what happens. Again, data will show us where we're headed next, but one thing that we have been keeping an eye on for this last week has been, again, our possible evening star. We called this out before we even got our evening star. We even mentioned our possible inverted hammer that's coming out here. Again, as we had Powell speaking, had this pullback, mentioned that we would possibly continue on with that momentum and with an evening star setup here at key resistance. We did have that continuation on lower. Very nice play if you did play that. Again, we will continue to stay on top of this, guys. I'm going to make sure that we're always staying on top of this. Now, again, with that said, if you are a day trader, if you're looking for pre-market news that you want to be watching before market open every single day, go to instables.com in the description below, and you will never miss a breakout alert today. Again, all of you Instables continue to take what the market gives us. Very nice breakouts today, even though we had a very choppy week this week with Powell and data, and then next week with CPI is going to be a crazy week to come. However, exactly calling it here throughout the week, as we do every single day here on the channel. And again, in the Instables, making sure that we do stay consistent will stay very key as usual. And again, keeping an eye on our 20-day moving average here on the SPY and how our next candle opens, closes into next week's CPI. That will be the watch. And again, if you guys do like this video, it does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all, and I'll see you guys in pre-market.